Hi, Annette. I'm Marakita with Climate Healers, and welcome to our little conversation. Annette Hadaway, you're originally from Portland, Oregon, correct?
Hi, Marakita. Yes, I am.
Wonderful. Well, I'm excited to talk to you, and I'm excited that you're coming to VCOP 19. And I mean, learning about animal communication is something I'm sure many people want to hear about. So, and I'm sure your talks and your presence is very wanted by animal lovers. So, this is exactly who I want to be talking to right now. So,
And also by the animals, they tell us that they're talking to us all the time. And they're also sharing with us that now's the time for everybody to realize their natural ability to communicate, to have dialogue. Just like what you and I are doing now, it's possible to dialogue with all animals and all beings of nature, actually, in this manner. So I'm really excited to teach at VCOP 19. And I was at the first conference, the first VCOP in 2018. And we did a exercise to get to know one another. And the first person I met was Rajui Chua, Peace by Vegan. And he, we decided I would go first. And I was just telling him that I was learning animal communication. I'd been in the class for almost a year, and I knew I was going to travel around the world and teach communities who wanted to learn how to speak with animals. And September 30th today is 3 years to the day when I left the US and started teaching animal communication all around the world. And my passion is teaching in communities who don't have access to Wi-Fi or computers. They might have cell phones, but it costs money for data. And so I love to go to the communities who might be having issues with human and wildlife conflict and sharing with them animal communication, that it's possible to dialect. So hopefully that animals, instead of living, they can live in coexistence instead of conflict.
exactly. Uh, and that makes me think I need to open up my everything expansiveness when I'm with an animal instead of not really being aware. So thank you for that.
When I teach people, and I had this realization myself early on, within the first month, I would go, oh my gosh, I've been doing this my whole life. I just didn't realize it.
Mhm.
And I recently was in Sri Lanka for 9 months, and I was gifted the opportunity to teach in a village with elephant human conflict, a lot of human and elephant deaths. And I was invited by a monk to teach I don't know if they call it a congregation, but the people that came to his temple. And there was over 100 people that came. And I had never taught that many people at one time before, but I knew the animals would help me and just get out of my own way and they'll show me how. And none of them could speak a word of English. Everything was translated through the monk who invited me there. And he shared with me at the end of the class, he said, they want me to tell you that they've realized through this class that they've been communicating like this all along. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I thought. And I hear that again and again. And Marquita, I had the opportunity in 2021 to teach vegan Evan and Kamaya animal communication.
That's amazing. Wow.
It was so fun.
I bet it was, definitely. So you probably met a lot of amazing vegans. Who's one of your favorite, or can you give me one of your favorite experiences that you've had?
Oh my gosh. Uh, well, it was really amazing being able to teach a whole village animal communication. Uh, and I was sharing about getting out of my own way. I knew I was supposed to go to this place and I just showed up, and my Airbnb host found out I was an animal communicator, and she called the monk who she'd known since he was a little boy, and it just happened. I didn't have to do anything. And just, I just told the animals I'm happy to teach and around the world, however you want me to, whoever you want me to teach. And as long as I stop trying to control things, things just happen. It's really amazing.
Oh, I love that. Yes, you're right. A lot of times we try to force things and it doesn't work out. And and you know who doesn't force things are animals. They allow. So,
Exactly. I'm a recovering control freak because get this, I was a real estate broker before I did this.
oh my gosh, just those words made you know, made my stress level go up.
So yeah, I went to Nepal for a trek in 2014, and after the trek, I went alone to Chitwan National Park because I wanted to be in a place where there was elephants and tigers and rhinos. And ever since then, I was really interested in elephant welfare, and things just blossomed, and I kept going back to Nepal, and then I was invited to be a part of an elephant foot care workshop. And I asked my elephant foot care teacher, I said, why did you let a real estate broker in? Because it was sanctuary owners, it was veterinarians, and me, a real estate broker. And she goes, I don't know. But it worked out. And through that, I learned animal communication because when it was brought to my attention that we could have dialogue with animals, I thought, since I'm working on elephants' feet, it would be fun to be able to ask them, do you want this toe, shaved down more? What part of the pad on your foot is hurting? Do you want me to do this or that? And it just was logical. And then it just opened up my whole world. And you know how I got invited to my first class was I had come back from a elephant workshop, excuse me, elephant foot care workshop. Say that fast 5 times. And I was in a class, it was a singing bowl class because I lived in Portland and there's all those opportunities. And it was from a woman I met on my first trip in 2014. And mind you, this was 2017. And she was holding this class in December. And I got there early, and a woman sat down next to me. We started chatting, and the woman who was running the class says, you guys have to exchange numbers because you have a lot in common. And I said, oh, okay. And we were chatting. We're like, I wonder what it is. And we had coffee the next week. She had met all my friends from Nepal because she has a nonprofit who helps spay and neuter dogs and cats on islands around the world at no cost to the residents. And she had just been to Nepal. She met all my friends, all the people I'd met at the elephant foot care workshop. And then she just felt comfortable telling me she was an animal communicator. And I go, can you ask this elephant a question for me? Because at the time, there was an elephant in the US who had been taken away from its owners. I don't like to say that word, but they were carting her all around the US in kind of like amusement park settings. And she was taken away, and I wanted to ask her a question. I was curious. Do you miss your people? Are you angry with them? Did you like life on the road? Those are the kinds of questions. And Mariquita, all it took for me to get involved in this is curiosity. That's all it takes. And again, I'm not anything special. I just teach people how to listen.
Well, I think you're special. You got some special talents. So, how hard is it? I mean, you have to take how many classes or how does that work? You know, if I was wanting to be an animal communicator, where do you study this?
Uh, my teacher is in Sedona, Arizona, and there were online classes before on free conference call, I think it was at the time. This was before the pandemic and Zoom. So I had learned with people from all around the world. I have animal communicator friends in Africa and Cyprus and India, Switzerland. I just got back from Switzerland. I'm currently in England, and I stayed the summer at a family's house where I had taken animal communication online with one of the members of the family. And so they invite me to spend the summers with them sometimes. So it's very easy. You're dialoguing with animals, right at the beginning. It doesn't take any special skills. We just have to learn to get out of our own way and not try so hard. I can remember at first I was just trying so hard. But once you relax and have fun and, play, make it a game and light and fun and happy, the communication comes really quickly and you recognize it. The number one question I get asked by adults, this is interesting, is how do I tell my voice from the animals? And do you know, Margarita, not one child I've taught has asked that question. Adults ask it all the time. Children never ask it. And, Vegan Evan and Kamaya, Dr. Rao was he went to all the classes with Kamaya. And I remember him telling a friend, and Kamaya was talking to this elephant in Nepal, like within the first 20 minutes. It was just amazing. So you'll be surprised.
Well, that is so exciting. I just learned Reiki, so I want to do that. So I'm the leader of my animal ministry at the church, at my church, the animal ministry. And so I really wanted to learn Reiki so I could help animals that way. But definitely, and people have asked me, about communicating, and I think that would really help me to at least learn a little bit. So I'm excited about your presentation, and excited that you get to travel and do all these fun things. What's it like being vegan, traveling around the world? And is it hard to find vegan meals? And do you feel like how is it, do you think people are more accepting around the world of vegans?
Yes, some people think it might be strange. And unfortunately, the Western diet, fast food, is everywhere. Was shocked at how many Kentucky Fried Chickens and Pizza Huts and, all of those kinds of restaurants. So I spend the majority of my time in Asia, in Nepal and Sri Lanka. And their original diets were plant-based. I mean, they didn't really eat meat that much. I'm hearing from my friends, but since Westerners started coming there, it's tasty to some people. We get addicted to that fat and salt taste in our mouths. But I find it very easy to eat vegan in Asia. And I'm in England right now, and it's easy to eat vegan here, everywhere. I can find vegan cheese everywhere, so I'm happy. And vegan ice cream, and but I try to stick to whole foods, and so it's very simple. You know what the hardest thing probably for me is I stay in a lot of Airbnbs or hotels, and if they have kitchen, the cookware isn't very good or kept up very nice. So cooking vegan meals can sometimes be difficult, not for the ingredients, but for lack of good cookware and sharp knives.
That's interesting. Yeah, I bet, because most people probably are running out to eat if they're in Airbnb, right? Probably going out to restaurants a lot. But then if you're wanting to eat whole food, plant-based and more healthy food, you want to cook. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And in Colombo, Sri Lanka, I was so shocked. There's an Italian restaurant, and everything they made, not plant-based, they made plant-based. So they had a whole vegan menu with everything, no, all the lasagnas, gnocchis, pizza, everything they made vegan. And it was so good and it was so delicious. And sometimes, I want a pizza.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know. I love to eat whole food plant-based, but I mean, I don't eat that all the time.
Yeah, but I find it very easy to eat vegan everywhere.
Wonderful, yes, and I think it is becoming more accepted, and I think people are getting the message. I feel very hopeful, and I'm glad you're out there traveling around the world, and you have a lure there to get people to know you. And then as they get to know you, they find out that you're vegan, and so that's a very good a good pathway to introducing them to vegan.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a lot of fun.
what's one thing that you learned from the animals that you might not have known in speaking with them?
They're not pissed off at us. They're not angry. They don't hate us. I mean, lots of humans don't treat animals very well, not only, in our food systems, but um, living with them or entertainment. Sure, they share. There's lots of places where they would not rather be. They would rather be, elephants would rather be not in a zoo or carrying humans on their back, trekking through the jungle, giving them rides. They'd rather be rolling around in rivers and running through forests and hanging out. But there are teachers. I hear so many people in the US that rescue animals, companion animals. And I constantly hear, I don't know who saved who. The animal, I don't know who rescued who. I'm sorry. I don't know if they rescued me or if I rescued them. I, every animal's different. They have their own dreams and desires and families and personalities. Uh, but I'm learning that there are teachers and that they love us very much. And they share that now's the time to learn our natural ability. They want us humans to know who we really are and what we're capable of, and dialoguing with all of nature. And nature wants to help us get out of, the mess we're in right now. And they want to show us who we are. And they tell us all the time in school and in the conversations I've had after school that our lives really all are about love.
So
And
it
so it's a joy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was thinking they're very forgiving and loving, like you're saying.
They love us so much. And like I said, sure, they would like us to do better in lots of cases, but they don't shame. I mean, there's sometimes, because of fear, I'll ask the animals the same question 5 times because I'm like, are you sure? And then like, are you angry that I'm asking you so many times? And then I ask as many times as you need to.
Oh, nice.
They are just so loving, and they want to teach us, and they help me all the time. I mean, I'm dialoguing with animals. They don't have to be in your presence. I dialogue with animals in Sri Lanka from England or in Nepal or in the US. And I ask them to help me with where I should go next, or, should I stay at this place, or do you have any suggestions? They're wonderful. I'm really lucky.
Well, I am super excited that you're coming to VCOP 19. I'm sold now wanting to be an animal communicator. So let me put that on the bucket list. So, but yeah, we are very lucky to have you coming in November, Annette, and very blessed.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited. And like I said, everyone has the natural ability to dialogue with animals.
Yes, and you'll be giving tips on you'll be teaching us, right, at VCOP.
Yes, I'll be teaching everyone how to dialogue, and it'll be fun.
Wonderful. Well, I'll see you at VCOP, and thank you again so much for this. And everyone, please make sure you check out Climate Healers VCOP 19 and register, come to Arizona if you're able to. If not, we'll be online. So thank you so much, Annette.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.